Balanced this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you today, Dr. Yolanda Jerry?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Yes, you are. You are blessed and highly favored. You know, people say that, but it's like as an affirmation. But then there's some people that say that and they really are blessed and highly favored. And they know that they walking that thing out. So you are blessed and highly favored. Glad to have you here with us today. Listen, everybody, we're talking today with Dr. Yolanda Jerry. And the topic for today is silent no more. So what are we going to be talking about? In honor of domestic violence awareness, we're going to be talking about how to stop the silence, break the silence, and make sure that you are safe. And so today we have Dr. Yolanda Jerry here with us to do just that. As you all come into the virtual studio audience, go ahead and let us know that you're coming in. I see you, Paula. Glad to have you. Good morning to you. Tag your friends and let everyone know that the show has begun and we are getting ready to start. So share it at work and you sneak it. Oh, we supposed to whisper. Paula, okay. Glad you on, girl. Okay. Listen, as you put your comments in, we will pop them on the screen today. And if you have any specific questions, make sure you type them in the comment section as well. I'm going to go ahead and provide the link so that you can pop right on the screen if you would like to and ask your question directly. Don't get off today's broadcast without getting an answer to the question that you may have if you're dealing with something or know a friend that's dealing with something. So make sure you get that question answered today. Dr. Yolanda Jerry is an Air Force veteran. She's also an advocate, a speaker, an author, life coach, entrepreneur, and she is Dr. Yolanda Jerry. I am so excited to have her here with us today. Welcome and glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Kim. I love your show.
I love you and I love having you on the show. And I also love your show, the Dr. Yolanda Jerry Show, which comes on every Thursday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't checked her show out, definitely do that. Dr. Jerry, talk to us and just kind of take us back before we deep dive into domestic violence itself. Talk to us about your personal journey.
Wow. So my personal journey when it comes to domestic violence abuse is, of course, as you know, I'm a survivor of domestic violence abuse where I was abused in my very first marriage, which is my daughter, by my daughter's father. I experienced, the financial abuse, the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, the spiritual abuse. I mean, you name it, a lot of coercive control. You might not hear that term a lot, but coercive control is what leads to the physical.
What is that word again?
Coercive control.
Coercive control. Okay. And yeah, excellent. That's good to know. So coercive control.
Coercive control. And coercive control is basically a strategic form of ongoing oppression and terrorism. And you probably like terrorism, right? But that's what it is. It's an ongoing oppression and terrorism used to instill fear. The abuser will use tactics such as limited access to money or monitoring all communications, trying to figure out who you're talking to, where you're going, GPS locations, figuring out where you're going throughout the day, those kind of things. So those kind of things fall up under coercive control.
That is so interesting. That's already enlightening in itself. Coercive control. I don't think I had ever heard of that term until you're just saying it. I know I've done a lot of studies about domestic violence, but I hadn't heard of coercive control. I have heard of like with narcissism and narcissistic behaviors, and that sounds very much in line with this coercion is what it sounds like to me.
Absolutely. And here's the other part. It's not illegal in the United States, but it is illegal and against the law in some other states, such as United Kingdom, where it's in law that if you attempt such behavior and you're found guilty, it's a crime. And this has been in existence since 2015.
That's interesting. Okay. So when did you decide? I kind of want to know because I really don't 100% know the answer to this. Do you think that people that are experiencing abuse, domestic violence in some regard, do they really recognize that they're in the abusive situation for real and they're just kind of like faking everybody else out, or do they really not consider it abuse personally?
I think that is just lack of knowledge and education. They don't consider it abuse because it was a norm that they probably have seen growing up, not necessarily in their household, but been around people who have conducted this such behavior.
Okay. So it's what they are used, it's what they may have experienced that they've witnessed, and it's like, okay, this is just happening because of this. And fill in the blank as to what this is normal because
That's
I've
what they
seen
saw a
this.
lot. They've seen it a lot. They've seen a lot of it. So they figured that's normal behavior.
Interesting. Okay. And so in your situation, did you want to say any more about your past and what brought you to where you are today, or you want to just go on to?
Just speaking, I was in my abusive marriage for 5 years. And I will tell you that, during the time that I was going through that abuse, there's a lot of reasons why I didn't leave right away. One of them was because I was a mother. Even when I saw it started happening while I was pregnant, I still didn't leave because I grew up with both my mother and my father in the house. And so what kind of mother would I be if I took my daughter away from her dad that she didn't really get to know? So that was one of the reasons that I stayed. Another reason was because we were both bringing in income. So if you take away, one person's income, then you don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to be stuck with all the bills? Because I tell you, I co-signed for vehicles, put my name on credit cards. I did all that. Why? Because at that time, what I thought I was in love. And, when you're with your partner, you do anything for them,
Absolutely. Who wouldn't?
Right. So, the financial issue, and then just people in public eye see you as this power couple, right? And so when they see you as that, it's like, okay, if you leave that spouse or that partner, you wonder what people are going to say about you. So it's a lot of things that go on as far as why people stay, but those are some of the reasons why I stayed. But then you get to a point, and my hope is even for other people, you get to a point where enough is enough. And it took, somebody recognizing that I was being abused, but then also my daughter as well. God spoke to my daughter, because she never saw me go through that except for one time. And that one time was enough.
Before you tell us what she told you, that was an eye awakening moment, a aha, a wow, an epiphany. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then I want to come back and hear what was that thing that your daughter shared with you that was like, this is enough. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So right after this commercial break, everyone, we're going to hear exactly what those things were that her daughter said to her that really changed her life. All right, everybody. Today's episode, let me share with you, is sponsored by the Snow Legal Group. The Snow Legal Group is located in the North Carolina and also in the South Carolina area. They handle all kinds of trials and all kinds of cases. And you definitely want to reach out to them and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. Their phone number is 704-358-0026. You can also email them at info@snowlegal.com. And again, let them know that I sent you their way. Let's learn more about them now, and definitely you'll be glad that you reached out.
I'm Attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, and we are back with Dr. Yolanda Jerry. And Dr. Jerry, tell us what it was that your daughter said to you that was a turning moment.
So, as I mentioned earlier, it was actually two turning moments. So the first one was my daughter screaming at the top of her lungs saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." So just imagine a little toddler standing in the doorway and just start screaming because she saw what was going on. And she was terrified, because again, as a mother and a father, we never took that such violence around her. So she was experiencing it for the first time.
Wow. Okay. And what was that second turning point?
The second turning point was when I went to work. As you can see, even now, if you look at my face, I barely wear much makeup. Right now, I got on lip gloss, eyeshadow, maybe a little bit of eyeliner, but I took it upon myself to learn how to put on makeup back then, well, attempted to anyway. Learn how to put on concealer, learn how to put on foundation, eyeshadow, all those different things. And I went to work one day. Now, I used to, being in the military, I used to just get up and go.
Right.
Put my hair on, my uniform, wash, get myself together. Never no makeup, no lip gloss, maybe chapstick. So if I showed up to work looking like the next top model in uniform, that's a red flag to somebody else. And so there was and I still don't know to this day who this person is that reported me to my first sergeant. So they went to my first sergeant and saying pretty much something's up with sergeant, so and so at the time, and so I got a phone call to my first sergeant's office.
Get out of here. Okay, so this is a real time when, because I've often thought about that too, what you're about to talk about, which is, so you go to intervene on somebody's behalf that you think is getting abused in some regard, and you report it, whether it's anonymously or on purpose, and then somebody has to approach the actual victim or to say something. Now you're that person, you're being approached, you're being abused. How does that unfold? So good, please tell us.
So when I got called to the office, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm this top-notch stellar non-commissioned officer who's received, accolades, all kinds of things, and leadership. So it's like, I'm thinking maybe he has another task for me, another mission that I need to carry out, or I'm being called in for something great. So when I go into the office, he just tells me to sit down. And the words out his mouth are, "Yolanda, what in the hell is going on?" And that took me by surprise because, for one, I never see my first sergeant that way. But he knew what to say to me to get out what I needed to get out. And before I could even say anything, I started crying. And he said, "Here," he gave me, I can't remember if it was a Kleenex or whether it was a towel. And he said, "Wipe your face." In that moment, I felt shamed. I felt less than. And even when I talk about it, I tell this story all the time, But sometimes it's just like, man, thank God that I was able to have people to intervene on my behalf. Because had it not happened, I wouldn't be here probably. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be here because I was literally being abused. We're talking black eyes, fractured rib. I was covering up. I never rolled up my sleeves when I was in uniform ever. So it was easy to hide all them scars and all that pain. Even when I was injured, I never went to the doctor. I walked that fracture out. So to be honest with you, I don't even know if that it healed. It probably healed improperly. I have no clue.
So you went to great measures to hide it.
I did.
And so it sounds like you are the mouthpiece or the vehicle of people that are experiencing this and going to great measures to keep it covered up. And there's no condemnation or judgment from me, or I don't know whoever else, or shouldn't be anyway, because any of us can experience this. Any of us. It's just only by the grace and mercy of God that there go I type of thing. That's what I believe. So I think we're all just one step away from something very bad happening, in life. So only by God's grace and mercy are we even shielded and protected. What did you feel? How do you feel, or did you feel regarding how it was your relationship with God during that particular phase of your life?
During that, I will tell you, when I was in my abusive marriage, I lost myself. I walked away from God.
I was
And I didn't even,
wondering if that was
you
the case.
know, I didn't, because before I went to my relationship, before I met my husband at the time, I was that Christian, going to church, singing in the choir, doing all these things. But in my marriage, I made that man my God.
Okay.
So as I was making that man my God,
But did you think you were making him your God, or did you just?
oh no, it's like I was at every beck and call. I was doing the things that he wanted me to do, and if I didn't, I always try to make it right.
But
Because
isn't that also just being like a great wife, right? So you're thinking.
well, so you thinking. Well, I mean, no, because they're even in arguments and disagreements, there was always this victim blame. I call it victim blaming.
Victim blaming.
Manipulation and control. So it's like, even though
That's
in an
good.
argument, I know that he was the one that brought us to this point. I was the one always saying I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Just to try to make peace, because I didn't want to continue to go through days and days of not talking and not speaking.
Oh, wow. I'm just writing everything that so constantly apologizing, even though you weren't wrong, but just to try to keep the peace. But really, at the end of the day, there was no peace to keep, because he was doing this regardless.
Right.
According to this is the Dr. Yolanda Jerry story. So I'm only interviewing her, having this as an opportunity for her to be able to share her story with the world. And I do believe that this is how the Kim Jacobs Show brings balance to the world, because there are people wearing so many different hats in life, and you don't know what people are experiencing. But through guests like Dr. Yolanda Jerry, who's willing to come on and share a transparent story that can change your life by you just hearing it, it makes a tremendous difference. So I'm really honored that you're doing this today, Dr. Jerry.
And I want to also point out one more thing.
Yes.
Kim, if it's okay. The abuser makes themselves look very good to everybody in the public eye, to the point to where even their co-workers and their leadership will still believe them and not believe the person that's the victim.
How is that possible? Do you have any understanding through your own research and your own experience how that's possible? Or do you think that people really don't believe them? But I can't wrap my head around that. Some people are super gifted and talented at painting the picture the way they want it to be painted.
They are, especially an abuser. And
it's like, that is so far from the truth. What in the world? You believe? But then if you on the other end believe it, well, it's like something's wrong with you too. If you actually believe this,
right,
you know that can't be the case.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's like the people that know the other person is going to side with that person regardless, because of the stories and the pictures that they've painted along the way. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, if you have somebody that's a stellar troop, ain't never been in trouble, and then boom, this comes up, they're like, that can't be the person that works for me. I don't even see this type of behavior at work. So if they don't see this person acting and showing no kind of signs of abusive behavior, I mean, yeah, I probably will believe them too.
That's good. I guess that's one way to look at it, because I've often thought that as well. How can people that are narcissists and people that are abusers get buy-in from other people like they're okay? And it's like, no, you need help. You need everybody should be telling you, go get the help that you need. Don't try to come here with your sob sad story. Let's all rally together and get your mind and your mental health right, because something is off in some regard if you're willing to inflict this kind of harm on other people.
Right. If I was to paint a picture so people can understand where I'm coming from, think about your child bullying somebody at school.
Right.
As a parent, you'd be like, no, not my child. It's the same thing.
Oh, so it's like just everybody's in denial. That is a good picture to paint for parents, right there. Because most parents do not see their children as the aggressor. They see their children. It's like, oh, not my Johnny, not my Susie, not my. That could never be the case.
Right. So
But
it's
then that's good. Good. Okay. Wow. Okay. We're talking with Dr. Yolanda Jerry, everyone. I see a lot of your comments coming in. I'm going to go ahead and put some of those comments in now, right after this commercial break. And then we'll also put some more comments in later in the show. If you want to stay connected with Dr. Jerry, her website is IamYolandaJerry.com. IamYolandaJerry.com. And her email is Yolanda@YJEmpowers.com. So right after this commercial break, we're going to come back and we're going to go to some of our studio audience comments and questions, Dr. Jerry. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
All right. Looking forward to it.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, and we are back with Dr. Yolanda Jerry. Let's go to some of our studio audience comments. And I see you all. I see you, Paula. And you said that you're in the studio audience. And I'll skip over the other comment. But good morning to you, Pretty Glow Aesthetics. Okay, Pretty Glow Aesthetics. Good morning to you. Glad to have you. And feel free to comment on anything that you would like, Dr. Jerry. I don't want to miss any comments because there's quite a few coming in. All right, let's see. Oh, Paula said that you're her mentor.
I am.
Yes, yes. She's a lot of people's mentor. She has the Dr. Yolanda Jerry Tribe. Hashtag that, everyone. Hashtag Dr. Yolanda Jerry Tribe.
And that's
All
another
right.
one. Lee Wright. He's another one. He's going to be part of the volume 2, My Walk Past Hell.
Yes, Dr. Jerry's getting ready to do another anthology. Tell everybody about that while we're right here on his comment.
Right. So those of you that don't know, there is a book that God gave me the vision for titled My Walk Past Hell. And that book basically told the real truths and the stories of these phenomenal women who have endured trauma. We're talking about that hard-hitting trauma, but are now out doing great things in this world. They didn't sugarcoat anything. So if you get that book, you're going to be on an emotional roller coaster. Ask Kim Jacobs, she knows. So
yes,
now we're
crying. Yes, you're going to be on an emotional roller coaster for sure.
Yes.
I'm going to take people to your website so they can see the book.
Yes. And so now we're doing volume number 2, where it's the men now sharing their trauma and how they have overcome. I'm a firm believer in now women are so vocal. Now we need more men to come back and be vocal about what they endure too. Because if a woman has gone through domestic violence abuse, or if a woman has been in an accident, or she survived breast cancer or any type of cancer, men have gone through this too. And I think that now is the time for our men to start showing up and showing out just like the women, to help people heal in this world.
I love it. My Walk Past Hell Volume 2. People can get that now, right, on your sign up for it on your website?
Yes.
Okay, so you can go ahead and sign up so that when the copies are released, you'll be able to get your copy immediately without having to be delayed. It's at IamYolandaJerry.com. You'll also see some of the other literary works that she has put together or has written herself, or either has compiled for other authors to be exposed. And then you can also learn more about her services as well, and just learn about her speaking engagements, her show, you name it. Dr. Yolanda Jerry, you can visit I Am Yolanda Jerry and learn everything you need to know. If you want to be a guest on her show, which she has a show every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Dr. Yolanda Jerry Show, you can click here and you will be able to learn how to be a guest and book yourself. All right. So I am so excited. Great comment, Lee Wright. Thank you. Sparked a lot of conversation. Christy said good morning to you.
Good morning.
Dr. Joe Harris, good morning. Good morning.
Another person part of that first volume.
Yes. A must-need subject to talk about, what you're talking about today. Good morning, Kim and Dr. Yolanda. Good morning, Pamela.
Morning.
All right. I see all of you all. Arnetta Caldwell, She has a great story, and she's written a book as well talking about getting past past hurts. And so glad to have you on. She's awesome. She's awesome too. You definitely want to connect. Sandy Sanders said, "Good morning, ladies. Dr. Jerry has an amazing and victorious story." Yes. Kimberly Fallis, good morning to you. Thanks for sharing, she said. Okay. Sending you love and hugs. I see all of your comments. Okay, so we're going to keep some more coming up, but we got to hear more of Dr. Yolanda Jerry's story here. You have a beautiful strength. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Good morning. Stay strong, sis. You are a survivor. Yes.
Amen.
Do you consider yourself a survivor?
I do. I'm a survivor who's thriving.
And what's the difference between just being a survivor and being a survivor that's thriving from your perspective?
For me, when I think of a survivor, you survived that trauma. But when you're a survivor who's thriving, you took that trauma and now you're using it to help other people overcome the trauma that they have gone through.
That's good.
Or still going through.
Right. Mm-hmm. And do you think that people that are experiencing, I heard you say specifically that people, you sometimes stay because of financial, sometimes because of children, because of so many different reasons. But do you think that they are considering their own safety and the possibility that even just by mistake, somebody, if they're beating on you, can kill you? Never thought.
Because in the moment, I'm not going to say that I think some people think about that. Mm-hmm. But again, it goes back to their own, they're only thinking about them. They're not thinking about all the other people that could be affected. What if you don't make it out that situation?
Right.
Or not thinking about the children, depending, I thank God that my daughter was young enough to not have to witness that happen to me over and over and over again. But some people stay in it and their children see it over and over again. And next thing you know, either the children, when they become an adult, they pick up that same behavior, or they're going to be the person fighting against that type behavior and making sure it doesn't happen.
And then some children too witness it and attempt to help.
Right.
Then the parent that's being abused, whether it's the male or the female. So in situations like that could be detrimental to the child, right?
Right.
Interesting. Okay. So keep your comments and questions coming. Thank you so much, Ms. Yolanda, for sharing your story. This is helping me. Wow, Arnetta says, yes. Okay. I see all of your comments. Oh, I have to tag somebody myself. Okay. Victim blaming is real. Victim blaming is real. The abuser uses subtle tactics to make you feel less than. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. Good morning, Mommy. I see you. I'm glad you're watching. Amen. And thank you for sharing. That's really, somebody said here, that's really why people don't tell people that they are being abused, because the abused is so charismatic that they believe the abuser.
Mm-hmm. Which I said earlier. Mm-hmm.
What can we do to get past situations like that? You tell us, you're the expert today on this episode. How do people that are fearful that if I say this, everybody that knows this person, admires this person, adores this person, how dare I go and try and paint a picture that this is happening behind the scenes? How do you advise people that are in that situation?
This is my thing. If you're afraid to confront it, you can, just like what happened to me, somebody else did it. Somebody was afraid to confront me, so they went and reported it to somebody else. Wow. And sometimes you have to use somebody else that maybe that person might look up to, that don't have a problem with talking to them and calling it out and calling it what it is.
I chuckle a little bit because I can say personally, because I do observe different things with people, and there are times when I have personally say, okay, I'm gonna help in this situation, because I'm forever trying to get involved in trying to help a situation out. And I come up with a strategy, a hidden plan, a secret. We got this. And I don't care what it looked like to the abuser. Okay. Right. I don't care. I'm trying to figure out how to help you get to safety without it being official that I was the person that helped you. Right. Mm-hmm. I've done that before, Dr. Jerry. and it backfired on me.
Mm.
The person went back with the abuser.
Well, let me tell you about that. It will happen. It will happen. That was me, right? It will happen. That person has had to have enough. But this is what I will say to you, Kim. Even though that person went back, still don't shut the door out on them, because you never know. They're gonna, either they're gonna get, two things are gonna happen. They're gonna get a point to where they've had enough, or the abuser decides they've had enough, decide to get the help, or the person might not make it out. But at the end of the day, it takes several times for a person to attempt to leave before they successfully leave. Does that make sense?
It does. And you know what? The person did ultimately leave,
Mhm.
and they have a great life now. So at the end of the day, it took the time that it took the time that it took the time for them to come to the realization of what was best for them in their lives. They're there because there's multiple people that have done this,
Right.
but it took the time for them coming to their own realization.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about, like you said, continuing to just love the person through it. And I did, but it just was still like an awkward
It's heartbreaking.
situation.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for you when you want to help them so bad. You want to save them. You want to do everything that you can, but the person is not going to leave until they are ready. And my prayer is that they do leave before something bad happens. Really bad happens, like them not making it out.
And I'm sure there are situations where people don't make it out, but you don't even know that that was a domestic violence outcome. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
always reported that that was domestic violence death,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
I mean, it's coming out now. I got a person that's going to be on my show next Thursday, who's lost her daughter because of it.
and was it publicly known that the
Oh,
person
it's
lost?
out there. Well, there were signs. They would just probably wish they would have paid attention to it more, but it wasn't painted as that bad picture. You
Hmm.
know.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, you said that's exactly why people. So I see your comment, and I think we've addressed that. Let's see what Leroy said. So put it in another way. If someone tells you your child did something, your first response might be, "Not my baby." Correct. You're right. We addressed that for sure. That's what most people say. Carla Fry says people believe that what they want to believe, and abusers convince themselves that they're right or they've done nothing wrong.
Mhm.
They can be very convincing to others.
Oh yeah.
So,
Very.
so are we saying that? And you all, please chime in on this. Are we saying that people that physically or emotionally or mentally or financially abuse people, they're feeling justified?
All the time.
And so how do they course correct if they're not willing to recognize the error of their ways?
That's the thing. They have to be willing to recognize their ways. I say that because it took many years and years, and more experiences after me, you know, for my ex to realize, what I did was wrong. Sometimes it takes time, you
Did he
know.
ever apologize?
Realize, oh yeah, and he did, and thank me for raising our daughter to be who she is today.
Hmm.
You know, I've never shamed my daughter's father to her. I never spoke ill will of him to her. I always encouraged her relationship with him because it has nothing to do with me. At that point, it was always on him, and she knows this. And so, at the end of the day, I had to forgive him. Because the forgiveness wasn't for him; it was for me to be able to start my healing journey,
That's
so
a good
that
point.
I could move on.
So whether the abuser ever asks for forgiveness or not, your recommendation is what?
To forgive, even, and I mean really forgive yourself for putting yourself through that, but even forgive the abuser and pray for them. Pray that they be delivered from those type behaviors. Pray that they seek a therapist. Pray that they would change. Because at the end of the day, people go through things, and therapy is key to all of that, because you're dealing with a lot of inner child issues, and that's what I call it, inner child issues. that have not been addressed, which cause you to behave the way you do sometimes as an adult.
I love the advice that you're giving, Dr. Jerry. Forgive regardless of whether they ask for it or not. It doesn't matter. Just forgive yourself and forgive them. And I really like the fact that you're saying that they know that eventually, hopefully, and praying for them that they get the help that they need. But I also, this is my own personal philosophy. I don't feel like I need to be dealing with your issues that you need to get help with at my expense.
Right.
Is that fair?
Mhm.
Or is
Yes.
that not fair? Because I mean, you should not have to sit there and deal with everything that people
If
need
you
to be
don't-
helped with in life
If
at
you
your own
don't,
expense.
if you don't forgive, it's going to be hard for you to move on. And I'm just going to just keep it real. It's going to be hard for you to move on because you're constantly holding that in. You're suppressing it, and all you're doing is just like putting on a Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got that Band-Aid, you got a wound, you cover it up, but that wound is still there. You know, and over time, it'll heal, but you have to want to do the work.
That's right.
You
Very
know,
good.
at the end of the day, you have to do the work for the stuff that you're going through.
Okay.
You know, you can't continue to put the blame on that person.
Right. Okay. I love that.
You can't
Say,
continue to put the
break
blame.
that down. Break that down a little bit more. Break that piece right there. Unpack that. You
Right.
can't keep putting the blame on the other person. Talk to us about that some more for a second.
The reason I say that is because we have to take responsibility for our own actions. We allowed and enabled that behavior to continue happening.
Mm-hmm.
We did that because we have a choice. God gives us our own mind.
Yes.
We have a choice whether we're going to stay or whether we're going to go. Yes, there are reasons why we've stayed, but still, just like in a word, faith, faith without works is dead. Are you going to have faith in God to help you through all of this? Or are you going to allow the devil to continue to keep you suppressed in that mind state?
Wow. Okay. That's really good. I'm grateful that you did that. And then you said, Lisa says they don't show that side to other people. Yes, we talked about that, Lisa. No, they hide that. Ernetta says so true. And I think she's commenting to it. Thank you, Kim Jacobs. I needed this. Continue to share this with other people. You all tag. Watch the replay. Share the broadcast later. Let people know that during this domestic violence awareness time frame, again, it's not just a specific month that we should be talking about this. This should be something that's ongoing discussion because people need it. What are some of the signs that we should look for to help people that are experiencing this when we come back from this commercial break? And we'll go back to some more of your audience comments as well. But when we come back, I'd like to know, what are some of the signs, Dr. Yolanda Jerry, so
Yes.
people walk away with how we can all help anybody that's in that situation?
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
All right, everyone, we are back, and I do want to take a moment to let you know about these scrumptious desserts that are coming up for this Thanksgiving holiday. I don't know if you are familiar with Ruby G's Buttercream out of the Winston-Salem, North Carolina area, but she has some fantastic desserts, and she's having a Thanksgiving sale that's coming up. I know I personally will be purchasing some of these goods, and I'm talking about like pound cakes, like sweet potato pound cake. How about pumpkin cream cheese pound cake? What is this? Pecan, all, you name it, it's there, and it's some great desserts that are. I have to show you. I have to show y'all right quick.
You
'Cause
wrong
it's
for
the
that.
website.
You know you're wrong for that, right? 'Cause
I
you
know I'm so wrong for it because I'm actually going to be ordering about 3 or 4 of these myself, and I've had them before. It's like it goes over so well. Cassandra, you have to come by and get a slice. But you got to order some for your house too. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm pulling you in, Cassandra. Okay, give me a second. Wait a minute. I gotta pull you in. Because I don't know if I gave you this. Did I give you some of these desserts last year? The chocolate covered strawberries. You're muted.
No, you did not share the treats with me. I'm
I
shocked.
know I met you. That's not true. I met you at the UPS store and I gave you a box last year. I thought.
No.
I'm gonna meet with you. I thought it was you.
That was not me. And we did meet at UPS store, but we were exchanging other things, not.
But I did give you gifts, though, right?
Yes. Oh, I got gifts, but I didn't get sweet treats.
Okay, well, okay. I wish I could mute your mic, but I'm gonna leave it at that because I thought I gave you the street. But anyway, I gave people some different chocolate covered strawberries and some chocolate bombs that you can drop into your things. It was, oh my gosh. I'm gonna show y'all her website right quick. I'll give you some this year, Cassandra.
I'm gonna place an order too.
You just in case, right? Oh, I'm going to Dr. Yolanda Jerry's site. I love this site so much. That's why. Okay, let me go back over here. Let me go to real quick. I know I'm doing a whole digression here, but I want to share with you guys for one of our episode sponsors today is Ruby G's Buttercream and RubyGButtercream.com. And that's CREME. I'll put the link. If you are in the North Carolina, Winston-Salem, Gary, Greensboro, Charlotte, or any of the surrounding areas, I'm telling y'all, you want to get some of this stuff. Because look at this. Look at that 7-Up pound cake is what I had last year.
You're so wrong. Oh, you're so wrong.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay. So all of these different treats that she has, and this is the owner of Ruby G Buttercream right down here. Where's the picture? And her story is on her website. And she talks about how important it was for her to be able to have her family do this for the community. And so check it out. But I'll put that back up again for you to screenshot the image, and you want to get this dessert order in by November 1st. So Ruby G Buttercream, my order is going to be in. I'll put it up for y'all one more time. Right over Cassandra, given that I thought I had given her some, but screenshot it and call and get your order placed. All right. Thank you so much, Cassandra. All right. So we're talking with Dr. Yolanda Jerry. We got to have some lighthearted moments in today's episode because this domestic violence is such a heavy topic, and it's not a joking matter whatsoever. It's something that people's lives are being altered and changed forever that are not anticipating this when they're going into these relationships.
All right.
So what are some signs people need to look for?
Ooh, you want me to go there? No. Some of the signs that we overlook is extreme jealousy. Yeah, we know that in a relationship you have some type of jealousy and it's fun, but when a person takes it to the extreme measures of being jealous, that's a red flag. Possessiveness, a person being unpredictable.
Extreme jealousy. Okay, I'm writing these too. I know you're typing them, Cassandra, but unpredictable, meaning they come in and you don't know how it's gonna pop off. Everything's like, are they good today? Hi.
Right.
You mad? Okay.
Right. Bad temper. When you're constantly seeing a bad temper. Some people, and I've had some people that I've coached even say this too, and it's true, being cruel to animals. You know, people don't think about that, but if they can't take things out on you, they'll take it out on some other organisms around you, you know. And so they're
I left my dog with somebody one time and they beat my dog. And I was like, my dog was petrified to be around that person. From that point forward, every time the person was around, the dog was like, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. So I think that's human cruelty and unacceptable.
And they could do that to get back at you because you love that animal just that much. So it's torturing you at the same time.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Go ahead.
Isolating you from your family and your friends.
Yeah, everything's wrong with your family. Nothing's wrong with theirs, but everything's like wrong with the other person's family. Come on.
Right. Not allowing you to be able to go and spend time with them.
Interesting.
And here's another one. I've known this to happen to people too, not necessarily me, but others, sabotaging birth control methods. So meaning taking your birth control pills because you know you take them because you don't want to get pregnant, take them. So now you're trying to figure out how am I going to get my pills, or trying to call a doctor to be like, hey, I need another pack of pills. Or
I never would think about these things. I mean, tell me guys in the studio audience, are these like unbelievable signs or is it just me? Because to me, these are like really good things that you're saying to look out for. Okay, I see a lot of comments. Okay, go ahead.
Control of finances.
Controlling
They can
finance.
spend all the money, but questioning you every time you spend money, or why do you need to have this? Of course, harassment. That's another form. Harassing you, even if you're at work. You'd be like, we can talk about this later, but you're arguing at work when you should be working.
That's good. That's another big sign. I've heard so many situations, especially, I won't even name where I am because it'll give it away. But I'm like, I cannot come here to be served by you or serviced by you because you're so focused on fussing and debating with this person on the phone that you're not able to give the appropriate attention to what you're supposed to be doing. Right. I don't understand that. Talk to the person later and give me or your client your undivided attention. This is so good, Dr. Jerry. You're right on top of this. This is great. Let me see what Carla said. I have learned that in order to help myself, I must forgive. Forgiveness is for me. God will do what he needs to do about the abuser. I am learning to take my hands off of God's business. Yes, I often say God is God. I'm not God. I'm not in control of God's decisions and what he decides to do. But I know that he's also created me to be fearfully and wonderfully made. And he does not want me to be harmed by anybody else either. Right? So I do know that. And I think that that's a great point that you're making. Sandy, there are true signs. Yes. Okay. True signs. Yes. True signs. Thank you, Lady Tanya Anderson. And if you are in need of learning how to pray through some of these situations, she has written a powerful book. Go to her website, and it's a 21-day prayer challenge type of thing that you go 21 days and it's prayer. I have it. I hope I'm not showing y'all my backside, but I'm gonna get the book right quick. But it's a 21 days prayer and an application. You pray, meditate, and you apply it. And this is some good stuff in this book that you definitely want. Yes. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Tell us some more signs.
Here's another one. Just because you're married to your spouse or your partner, you still have to be willing to give yourself to them. So sometimes you'll find that an abuser will force sex when you don't want to.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the abuser is raping you during the times that they know, whether it's male or female, I guess, however it's happening here. The point is they're forcing themselves on you, knowing that that's not a time that you would have submitted yourself to that act.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is overwhelming to me. Public humiliation is another tactic.
Right.
No, because people that don't know these things, I can only speak for myself. I feel very ignorant right now in this capacity of what you're sharing. So you are more than enlightening me as to things to look for, because then this means what you're saying, there are a whole lot of abusers out here on this earth. That means like a vast majority of people are abusing people. And that also means that there are things that you can look at introspectively to say that it's just, have I been a little bit abused in this regard? Because you get public humiliation. These are things that I thought sometimes you just have happen in your life in different regards, in different phases of your life, but it's not supposed to be the case.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
And I like what was just mentioned, basically humiliating you in the public eye, demeaning you in front of people. And that's a way of them having power and control, just embarrassing you in front of others. So that's good.
That's really good. Okay. These are some tremendous signs, guys. And I know we're going to capture all of them and put them on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See all of these. Thank you, Cassandra.
And one last one that I would like to mention, outside of all the other ones that I mentioned, is, telling you what you should and shouldn't wear. Like, I met you and I was wearing this kind of attire.
Right.
But now that I'm with you, it's too much.
Interesting. Wow. I mean, this is like,
you're
like I'm at an event, a conference, and I'm hearing so much, and it's such a sad topic, but it's so needed.
So it
what
was
you're
good
saying
enough
is
to attract you, but it's not good enough to be with you, standing next to you. Because this is my thing. If anything, a person, when if they were attracted to you in that way, say, and I don't wear a whole lot of clothes that show a whole lot of my flesh, but if I had on a nice dress, and I was looking very sexy and modest at the same time, why wouldn't you want me as your partner to continue to look like that next to you?
right.
I mean, not saying that a person should look like a trophy piece, but who cares what the other person is thinking?
When I'm with you at that moment,
But
right?
that's their insecurity, because if another man or woman is looking at you that way, they feel threatened.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Make sure you let people know about this domestic violence hotline too. I do want to make sure that we share that. And more importantly, this whole spill that you share with me backstage here. Share with everyone this.
So if anyone's going through a domestic violence situation right now, or know someone who's going through it, and you don't feel comfortable talking to them, you can refer them here to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can have them call 1-800-799-7233. Or if they're around their abuser and they can't call, they can go to the website, and there's a chat line where they can actually chat with someone as if they're just texting them. And that website is www.thetehotline.org.
Wow, you guys don't miss the opportunity to help someone that you know is experiencing domestic violence by reporting it, and or having them go to the website, or sharing this information with them. Screenshot it and share it with your friends, and just say, hey, get the help that you need, and give them the opportunity to help themselves. And maybe sometimes we're so clogged and overloaded in our minds when we're dealing with different situations. It may take an outside third party person that just genuinely is looking at it from an outside perspective to help you and get you on your way. So please make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. 1-800-799-7233. Dr. Jerry, you've been extremely helpful to today's audience, and I'm very grateful. I do want to also learn about some more of these special people, but let me talk for a second about this beauty queen here. Who is that?
Oh, look at my daughter. That's my baby girl. She is basically like why I do what I do. I am a voice for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, but also and also for people who have been bullied, because my daughter was bullied in middle school. So I am a voice for her as well, and the children who have been bullied. So that's my baby. She's 21. She goes to college, and she's in her senior year of medical nursing school.
Awesome. She is so beautiful. She is your mini me.
Foodie too, just
Huh?
like she's a foodie too, just like her mom. So the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
And she is so beautiful. I'm so grateful that you and her survived through that experience. Tell me about this young man.
Well, that man is none other than Pastor Frank Henderson, who is also AKA my bae, my boo thing, my future husband. So be on the lookout. But
Y'all look like y'all were made for each other. Seriously.
I'm telling you, God will take you through some things to prepare you for the right thing. And he is my right thing. He's been very supportive, in the things that I do. And I also make sure that I reciprocate the same for him and everything that he's doing. And we're doing it together.
That's so good. That is so good. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Actually, yesterday I had Ken Canyon on. He's our relationship expert. And he was posing the question, can you have more than one soulmate? Especially if you've been divorced or widowed, can you ever have? So what's your theory on that? You might be able to chime in.
Can you have more than one soulmate?
Right, because everybody thinks that they marry their soulmate when they marry their soulmate, but then something happens, and then do you get another soulmate, or is there one soulmate?
Right. That can go either way, but I think that we have mates, but your true soulmate is who God sends to you. And the reason I say that is because my last two marriages, and I'm gonna just put that out there because hey, you can find love at a late age too. God wasn't in it. He was in neither one of my marriages because we didn't make God as our covering. Only I made God as our covering.
That's deep. So when one of you make God as your covering and the other one doesn't, then that's considered what? Unequally yoked. Okay, so that's just my thought. Everything I be talking about coming from right in yonder and here. And they need pages here. So if I can get it out of here, then I'll try my best to apply it to my life. And then there are some things that I do that are not. And they're like, Kim, you know that wasn't in no word. So I don't know where you got that from. You got that just from your own head. But this is some good stuff. Listen, today's episode is also sponsored by Lamb Funeral Home. Lamb Funeral Home is in the Concord, North Carolina area. And their phone number is 704-782-3011. You can also visit them at lambfuneral.com. And let me take you over to their website because the owner, they have over 28 years of experience, but the owner is a veteran. And I really like this because you were in Air Force and everything. So I thought, Air Force veteran, I'll share this today, that he is eager to be able to share with you all of the benefits for veterans. They want their family to serve yours. Even though they're in Concord, North Carolina, they are certified in all 50 states. So Terry Lamb is a veteran himself, and I've had him on the show. He shares so many benefits for adult children of veterans, for spouses of veterans, you name it. He knows everything that you are supposed to be getting, and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity to connect with him. 704-782-3011. And if you are dealing with a family member that's passing away, go ahead and learn what to expect. Immediate needs and funeral pre-planning. You can learn all of that from Lamb Funeral Home and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. So Dr. Jerry, what's something that you didn't say on the show that you like, Doc, I meant to say this and I didn't get a chance to say it? What's that point?
Ooh,
that's a good question, right?
It is.
Tell me about your show.
I will say this. Well, tune into the Dr. Yolanda Jerry Show every Thursday via Facebook and YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're looking to be a guest on my show, go to my website, IamYolandaJerry.com, and click Be a Guest on the show. I also want to put out there that to tune in to the Then I Rise, Arise and Shine show this Saturday. I'm going to say it again, this Saturday morning, Frank and I are going to be talking about love is power on that platform. So be on the lookout for that as well. So yes, even though I'm doing a lot of things, Frank and I are doing things together to let people know it's never too late for love.
I am so excited about that.
To love and grow.
And so Dr. Yolanda Jerry, they can find out all of the details about your show, about your upcoming engagement this Saturday, right at IamYolandaJerry.com.
They can find out, follow me on social media too. I post a lot out on social media. My handle is at YJ Empowers.
At YJ Empowers is her social media handle, at YJ Empowers. And you can also go to IamYolandaJerry.com. Dr. Jerry is actually one of the students that graduated from the Kim Jacobs consulting course. And so do you recommend that to other people?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
If you're just, like I said, Kim is going to give you everything you need to get your show started, the necessary tools that you need to. It was a great course. Once you learn more things, you take it up a notch. So, but she will explain everything that you need to know to at least get started.
Well, I'm excited about that. And it was my honor because you came to class. You never made excuses whatsoever. So you just came to class. You didn't care if you were in your pajamas, if you had no makeup on, like you said, whatever it took. But at the end of the day, you were devoted and committed to your project and knowing that you wanted your show, the Dr. Yolanda Jerry Show, to be out here and to be able to share how people triumph over tragedy. And I am so grateful that your show is on the air and the airways. But if you all want to learn as well how to create your own talk show from scratch, or you just want to share your gift with the world, because each of us have a gift. We each have a story that we need to share with people, and we need to provide platforms and outlets. And you may be a motivational speaker, you may be a business owner or an author yourself and want to go through this type of training. I'll let you know how you can do that now. And then we're going to come back and get a closing comment from Dr. Yolanda Jerry right after this break. everyone, I'm Kim Jacobs. I'm the host of The Kim Jacobs Show, and I would like to extend an opportunity for all of you that are authors, business owners, motivational speakers, or just passionate people that want to share your gift with the world. I offer a masterclass that consists of 6 weeks of training that teaches you how to start your own show from scratch. It's a very intense training for you to walk away with a show that can really change your life and the lives of your viewers. So listen, I have 13 years of experience in the industry. I've been featured on PBS, on NBC, and also on networks that's been over 200 countries viewing those shows. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to starting your own talk show. I've also traveled the country with Les Brown as international motivational speaker, teaching people how to share your story so that you can earn income. So you don't want to miss this opportunity to go ahead and reserve your seat as one of the slots that's left in this masterclass. KimJacobsConsulting.com. KimJacobsConsulting.com, and we're going to go on this journey together. You're also going to get to unlock about 8 weeks worth of content that you'll be able to also work at your own pace, in addition to the training that we'll be doing face-to-face via our virtual platform. I can't wait to go on this journey with you, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. So we are back and getting ready to close out. And I see you saying, great show, Sandy. I see you, Pamela, saying they absolutely are made for each other, her and Pastor Frank Henderson. I see you, Tanya Anderson, saying many times a person do not come forward to share their abuse is based on the shame of others knowing that you are in an abusive situation, especially if you are a high profile individual. Not that your status matters, but it's again, others may not believe this doctor, lawyer, clergy, etc. is an abuser. So the abuse is for anybody. That it doesn't matter what your title is, Dr. Jerry?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what your title is. The abuse doesn't discriminate.
So if you had one final thing to share with everyone that could be, in your opinion, the thing that really could say to a person that's experiencing this, I got it. Thank you, Dr. Yolanda Jerry. Today is my final day of dealing with this madness. What would that be?
So I have a message, and I'm going to drop 4 subpoints that fall up under that. And so my message to the victims, if you're watching right now, whether you're a woman or a man, know that you are not alone. I say that because I'm here. We're on this Kim Jacobs show, and we are exposing information that you may not have knowledge of. And we're exposing information that you can grab onto to let you know that there's a way out. Cultural and social change is obtainable when information is made accessible to all who are affected by domestic violence abuse. And so just to kind of give you about 4 tips that kind of help you out there. We already mentioned one of them is knowing the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. The website is www.thehotline.org. Number 2, if you are the victim and you're not ready to go, but when you are ready to go, make sure that you create a safe word that your family and friends will know, so that way they know, okay, she's serious, it's time to get out. Or you're reaching for help and they know what to do. Call the police or come get you, or whatever the case may be. Create a safe word, or a safe word only you and your loved ones and friends know that the abuser would not key in on. Number 3, there are safety apps that are out there. All you have to do is just go to your Play Store on your iPhone or your Android and just type in domestic violence, and some things should come up. The ones off the top of my head, there used to be one that used to be called Circle 6, but I think that name has changed. But again, if you go to your apps, you should be able to find a few of them. And then last but not least, make sure that you don't leave in an instant, because you're going to put yourself in more harm and danger if you do. Create an escape plan. Have an escape plan. Know all the exits to where you are. If you have to flee right away, but that plan should be written out in your head, sometimes, or in your phone, so that way you know, if this person is at work at this time, I know I can leave at this time. Or if this person is not around me, it's best to leave when that abuser is not there. So make sure that you have a plan. And when I say plan, escape plan of knowing how to exit, but then knowing where you're going, who are you going to communicate with. Make sure you have enough gas in your car. Make sure you have enough finances or money saved up to get you through a couple of days until you can get to where you really need to be. And know all of the shelters that surround your area.
That is so deep. Everything that you're saying, we're going to type those up and put them in the comment section. But the advice that's been given here today, I think has been so robust and extremely helpful to everyone watching. I encourage you to go back and watch the show, pause it, take notes, because all of these things, thank you, Cassandra, for typing all of this. Everything that Dr. Yolanda Jerry has been saying, Cassandra has typed in the back office for us. And so all of these comments are here. So whether you're seeing it right now before we get off or not, go back and see it. This is the message from Dr. Yolanda Jerry to you all. Know that you are not alone. She's here exposing the information to help you in your situation. 1, know the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 2, if you are the victim and you're not ready to go, create a safe word that only you and your family know, so they know that it's time to call 911. If I hear you say that word and you told me that word and I'm your friend, I'm calling 911. I'm getting somebody to your house immediately, based on what Dr. Yolanda Jerry just shared. 3, there are safety apps that you can download. 4, make sure you don't leave instantly. Create an escape plan and then write it out. Try to leave when the abuser is not around. Thank you, Cassandra, for putting all of that. And thank you, Dr. Yolanda Jerry, for sharing it.
You're welcome.
You're amazing. This was an amazing show. I don't usually say this is an amazing show myself, but yes, it is not arrogant and cocky. This is an amazing show. Thank you for being here today. If you haven't subscribed to the Kim Jacobs Show, go ahead and take a moment to do so right on our YouTube channel. And many people want to know how you can support, because our show airs every day, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are some ways for you to support the show to keep the program going. All right. It's just like how PBS and different other shows that they rely heavily on community support. Well, the Kim Jacobs Show relies heavily on community support. So support our program. If you like this original content with people like Dr. Yolanda Jerry, go and support us and provide your financial online contributions to keep the show airing Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome. And thank you for what you do.
Wow.
To bring balance in this world, about a balance, doctor.
Thank you. There's that number one more time, 1-800-799-7233. I hate to go. And I still see all your comments, but I have to go ahead and click off. But all right. Thank you both for this information, Lakeisha. Thank you for being here. Everybody tune in tomorrow. We have some trailblazers. Y'all, it's been some great shows on this week, but I'm telling you, some trailblazers are coming on tomorrow, and you don't want to miss their story. They're a part of the Sisters Leaders Conference. You're a part of the conference.
So go to www.sisterleadersconference.com.
I was wondering, aren't you one of the speakers? What in the world? You didn't talk about.
I'm sorry. So that's it.
Sisterleadersconference.com. You're going to hear Dr. Yolanda Jerry as one of the speakers. So make sure it's taking place October 29th and the 30th. How did you forget to say that, Dr. Jerry?
Hey, I've been working hard. I promise you I've been working hard.
I'm like, aren't you one of the speakers? All right, everybody. Anytime you got all that you're balancing, that's what's happening. But here, I do have your graphics, so I'm going to put that up. This beautiful, dynamic woman is going to be speaking at the Sister Leaders Conference between October 29th and the 30th. You will get to hear from this ambassador chair, Dr. Yolanda Jerry, and Dr. Karen Pruden is the visionary behind the project. And you are not going to be disappointed. Tomorrow, I have some of those speakers that'll be right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Dr. Jerry, you're like, I'm about my business. I'm trying to help save lives. I ain't worried. I appreciate it, everybody. Have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, everybody. everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.